Now, if you guys know, back in the day, I used to go live because it was a lot easier than having to re-upload things. Now, when it comes to them shorts and things, I'm feeling pretty good at it and rather quick about it, but I still prefer going live. I miss live streaming in a way. Yeah, some of you do. Some of you do. Anyway, the point of this is real quick. First of all, to let you know that I'm still out here. I'm still doing great, despite the post that I made over the weekend. And it's come to the forefront of my mind that it's time for me to make some things clear. Uh, People keep thinking that spirituality itself is a business. And being able to tell you what prophetically is going on in the world is not. That is me working for the Most High God in the spirit, what resides in me, and sharing that with the community, right? Well being. So I'm not really asking you to pay for that. Yeah, when you go to the church, you want the church. Let me put it to you a different way. My brother said, even the son of God ain't got nowhere to lay his head. That's a problem, right? Okay. Moving on. What I actually do is spiritual counseling. Now, others may say that they do, and I couldn't tell you what they do because I don't care what they say or do. What I want you to understand is what I do. I posted that video on Saturday. And I was explaining to you through my tears and my love for the young woman that I was having to leave behind what predators do. Why? Because I'm qualified to. The United States military qualified me in master resiliency. I have a college degree that includes human growth and development. I owned a daycare. I understand human beings more than you think. So much so that we're at the point in history where we are making turns or changes in psychology based on me bringing forward these old theories and testing them against the principle. Period. Okay. So when I say I was working on a master's degree in social work, and that's not a lie. I had the qualifications already. So I just came outside when I healed enough to and began to do the work. Because too many social workers say that you cannot do their job in the field. And then I asked the question, well, how is it you go check on them children all the time? Which brought up the understanding they're not doing their damn job. So here I sit doing it. And I do it through God. So it's spiritual in its nature, i.e., I can see what others cannot see. I can see the wounded child energy in a human being, and I can tell them immediately by testifying through my own story, which others cannot do because they're under some stupid ass federal guidelines and or corporate company rules. Right? My policy is simple: heal the people by any means necessary. So if I gotta meet someone who is actively in the throes of addiction, I am not going to throw them away. We're gonna come back to the point of being on this YouTube stuff. Way back in the day, I posted it recently. There was a gentleman by the name of Darrell turned their back on him, except for me. I simply stopped communicating and stepped away from the pain. But when it comes to the reality of it, that young man came to me after coming to a lot of other people attempting to tell his story. And his story was that there is abuse going on in his home. Come to find out, it was mutually combative. Which is probably why, even though he called the FBI and others called CPS, it didn't progress. At the same time, though, other people, those people thought he and I were related somehow, and they targeted me. The entire time, I'm an innocent human being who at that time was a volunteer for the United States government. You know what I was doing? Teaching financial literacy to the people in the city of Tucson, Arizona. Specifically, an impoverished city. Most of the people here don't have the education in order to be able to take over the jobs and get ready to be opened up by people leaving the field or graduating from college and going away from here because there's no money here. Now, part of my job was to give out a SWOT analysis on at the nonprofit that I was working at then. So when I ended up homeless, knowing that that would happen because they even gave me the information, right? That wasn't my problem. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make it out here, you got to be able to make it through the rough times. And if you can start out by being able to go from zero to at least a fucking dollar, bro, the rest will grow. Yeah, I'm the one who's telling you about financial literacy. These niggas don't know shit. And I stand on that end. You dig? So at the end of the day, when Mr. Long had his issues with Mr. Daniels, and I called Mr. Daniels not only on his financial inacuity, lack of clarity, and his scamming, and then as a wife, I saw what I had experienced in his wife and what was coming out of her mouth. I ain't slow 5:55 on the clock. I put that shit together real fucking quick. I said what I had to say. I told Mr. Long we don't talk about nobody's wife and children, and I let that shit alone. But no, Mr. Daniels and his goons and coons decided to fucking come for me. Now here we are. Well, y'all get your motherfucking destiny. Don't be mad at me calling it any other thing than that. You earn this L, you eat this L, you all can go to jail, hell, or a motherfucking cell. I don't give two shits. I didn't make you do it, and the devil didn't either. That's why you're also under spiritual judgment. Because how dare you call yourselves worthy of opening up a spiritual court in God? Yo, explain fucking it's some tall celebrity to be. Bitch, please. Bitch, please. And to you, call me motherfucking Brown. This time we go on here and put this shit down around town. Spiritual sexual assault is still sexual assault, bitch. And once you lie and say you feel something, you lied. That right there in itself breaks any goddamn contract. Ask the people. The thing is, it's hard to prove a lie. You gotta wait for the truth to reveal itself. Wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it. Because it wasn't a lie later. Just in the beginning, when you did all this shit. But see that mama's cooking and that spiritual this shit, it got you to thinking. Was more than your dick. I stand on business. I ain't mad, baby. I'm thankful you did it. Ain't no fear in me. My heart is motherfucking Tennessee, boo boo. We know about you. You know what I'm saying? I saw Cammy Harris over there at the Lorraine Hotel. I was so stunned. I was like, bitch, you got to be dumb. Knowing you sold out your people, you gonna stand on the same balcony with just as sold out Martin? Bitch, please, bitch, please, bitch, please. Tell me I'm lying. Somebody had to get close to him. Y'all put it on Rushton, but I'm just saying. Someone had to know where and when he would be specific. Why you think I keep my circle this motherfucking big? I'm still that kid. It is. I done come a long way in this. And just so all the chickens come home to roost, that includes y'all's little game. Your dumbass made it known on camera that you was. And since I knew at the time what was going on, that little thing where y'all out there talking about the shit, I knew you was gambling on me. And then when you and Carcino are on live, when I pop up, how this goes, yeah, I like this one, Carcino. But when they put your bitch ass to the test recently, and they showed you Chicago, your dumb ass thought that was me. And you are slower than a box of rocks. You're slow. That's slow. That's all you could do was dribble, my nigga. Now I hear, huh? Heavenly Father, I can't, yeah. That I cannot verify is something I know, so I'm gonna let that shit go. But here's what I am gonna say. Y'all don't play with me no more. I'm standing on business. You know why? It's not about you. It's about what I said I was gonna do. When I said I'm running for president of the motherfucking United States and leader of the free motherfucking people, that's what I got damn mean. So I run my mouth freely with the motherfucking truth about you. All day, every day, twice on Sunday if necessary. What you gonna do to me? It hadn't already been done to me. I'm talking about my motherfucking country coming for me. Do you understand me? The president of this country used everything but the nuclear arsenal to come after me. And I still exist. The authority, though, I ain't know y'all was up to all this bullshit and ignorant. Now that I give him credit for, which is the reason why I implored him at 11 on the clock, 9:09 on the actual clock, to do that shit. To just go ahead and leave office 11:11 peacefully. I don't negotiate with terrorists. So I can jump all this shit and we can go straight to war crimes because thanks to him, we're at war at this time. You see how that works? Well, guess what? I win. Why? I win. I was patient. You're right. I might have even been motherfucking methodical with a couple of you. Why not? You're murderers, attempted murderers, and co-conspirators. You lack the ethics to judge me and hold spiritual court on any fucking body. Because you don't understand the laws of God or me. Number one, and this is the most important, y'all don't fucking forget it. We put God over country in this country. That means God's law reigns supreme when man's law fucks up. And man's law has been fucking up long enough that God has decided to come down and tip the scales of justice back into the favor of love, peace, and harmony. Okay? Number two, ignorance of the law is not a defense to the law. Anyone who thinks that they want to practice witchcraft, spirituality, and or open a business involving those things should be sure to understand that. Okay? You cannot violate spiritual law. You cannot violate man's law. And you cannot violate God's law. And you see, that's the issue. None of you understood that there were spiritual laws, which, by the way, trump God's law in the universe. It's universal knowledge, mathematics, wisdom, understanding. You picking up what the motherfucker I'm putting down, bitch. Cause I'm about sick of you goofy, fat motherfuckers over there on Mommy Watch Taro and whatever the fuck else it is, lying to people. I don't give a shit about you trying to beat me, bitch. You could never. You could never. You can't even accomplish this. Put your face on camera consistently. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm missing some teeth, but I got full motherfucking clarity, bitch. Come with it. We're done with you. We're done with the dumb shit. We are all over it. You have ruined lives and homes and marriages. You have also committed the crime of murder, attempted of co-conspiring with this man to lie on me repeatedly. It doesn't matter which one. Do you understand? Anton Daniels, the real Long, any of them, Kevin Samuels, it does not matter. Y'all came together as a group, a sphere of motherfuckers against one individual. I'm still a 10, and I'm number one at this bitch. You see how I'm the alpha and the omega and the motherfucking end? Now, I've established dominance, and baby, I'm an apex predator. So keep coming for me. I will slice and dice you spiritually, because it's got to happen as they so it can happen below, ho. Which means every lie that he done told, and y'all try to force on me or project on me and all that shit, it ain't ever happened. You know why? Because it never happened. I didn't sleep with them in the spirit. I didn't sleep with them down here. They assaulted me. They pulled me up out of my spirit. While I was near death. And because spiritual rape wasn't enough at 15:55 on the clock, they thought that they would wipe my memory clean and I would forget everything. You want to know the scariest thing about this? I physically died. I'm back, obviously. But for me, may have felt like minutes or could have been more than that. And there's a possibility that they did actually come into my home and assault me on the physical too. It just never took root because I wasn't allowed to think that someone broke into my home, knowing that I was alone and vulnerable. And for this moment of clarity, it didn't have to be that man. There's another gentleman, his name is Oscar. He was a maintenance person at the apartment complex that I worked at. Rodeo season is coming up here in the city of Tucson. That's why this is coming cyclically around at this time. I asked Oscar back then if he knew anything about horses and so on and so forth. And the other gentleman had mentioned something about the conversation came up. And that's when I knew the fix was it. And when I get to the women's shelter, because it's relevant, I made a chick. Her name is Barbie, and if you look on his channel, he's got a Barbie that he talked to. Anyway, Barbie down here came to be a vet and work and equestrian and work on horses and shit. She used to call me coach. I don't know really what set her off. What I did, the young man that she saw me with that day, did he really take his life, or was he a second? Well, no, not right. Thanks to the world for letting me get this shit off my chest that they kept trying to suppress. Thank you to anybody who me and allowed me to get on this thing. I used to have this vision of people being escorted out of Sister Jose and me getting to see it one day. That's vengeance. It came, which is where it all stems from. Nobody ever knew half of the truth in this live that I revealed about my life over time. I never said anything because I love my children. I'm thankful for each and every one of them. They are amazing to me. It's simply my belief that when my child changed his name so that he would not have to take the responsibility for his father's sin, he set us all free in the end. Clarity. Just because he changed his last name to Rose does not mean that Jamal Rose was my child's father, any way connected to him. That's God, I guess. But my son changed his name, and I'm going to say it out loud for the first time only because we need to clarify something. His father's name is Robert Thomas Hill the second. My son was Robert Thomas Hill the third. When he was able to, he changed his name to Dante Leah Rose. Why does it matter? Dante's Inferno. That's hell, baby. He took us through hell because he did not know what he now knows. His middle name is Leah. You would have to ask him. It's also a word that I used to use a lot in puzzles. It's one of those obscure words that people don't know. Last one is the most important. Rose. That is my mother's middle name. Diane Rose. Understand? It is for clarity so you all can stop barking up all of the wrong fucking chiefs. By the way, there is a Janine Hill in California and she's white. I don't know if she still lives there or not. But when my youngest son I was pregnant with my youngest son, I had a virtual baby shower and gifts showed up at my house from Amazon Prime. One of the mistakes that was made was that his diaper genie was sent to her instead of me. That's how I know she exists in the world. Well, let's pray the rest will take care of itself. Oh, his godmother was in Maine. She was a school teacher. Anyway, y'all understand what I'm saying? Very easy for me to tell the truth. It's the truth. I ain't got to pause. I ain't got to think. I ain't got to fumble with it. Can I talk about this real quick, though? I'm on the spectrum, supposedly. Well, one of the things that has always been a thing in me as a human being is that I don't, excuse me, I don't keep time the way other people do, like remembering the date that we met. It's irrelevant. I remember the song that was playing when we met. I remember the smell of your cologne. I remember the taste of that first bite of food when I was looking at you. Is that it? Those things. Back up off it. Because where the numbers matter isn't that. It's angelic 2313. Which, by the way, anyone who actually can communicate in the spirit would be able to tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you it's angel speak, which sometimes is said in Gaelic when you're Norse, reading Norse mythology or whatever. But anyway, angel speak is how we communicate, and you do that from the heart space. So you gotta have love for somebody before you can actually speak to and or for them in the spirit. Which brings something else up. Not everybody who communicates with the spirit, the Holy Spirit, because we can all get the spirit. Like when you see children who are really into some type of dance or music, that's being in the spirit. That's just having the embodiment in the moment of the energy that's being created. But separately, though, everyone is a medium. Like everyone is meant to allow other entities, beings, or whatever to go through them, like in the movie Ghost. That requires you to have an absolutely cleansed spirit and this to push that bullshit out, right? When you feel your this, right? It's not aphasia all the time. Sometimes it is the energy trying to force you to stop speaking the truth, right? You have to push through that. When you can push through that and do that consistently, right? And you can continuously keep your spirit clean, This is why they keep trying to have me outside and homeless. Because they can tell you that I am not clean. However, baby, I am one of the cleanest homeless people that you know. I got this cute little tent. I wish I could show you. Let me see. See? Right here in my tent. No, I'm having an issue with the condensation in my tent. But outside of that, I have a tent. I've got a rolling bag. I got everything that I need to keep myself clean. I do my laundry. I take care of me the way that I would take care of me if I were in housing. There's a difference between me and many of the people who are out here is that I have a full blown business and I knew I would be out here ministering to the people on the street, which is what the Most High God requires me to do, which is why I get paid in tips and shit. This is why I haven't had to file taxes. Also, the fact I'm fucking homeless, bitch. Anything that I make don't ever amount to 600 actual fucking dollars. Cause you see, y'all slower than a box of rocks on Christmas. But anyway, I say all that to say, if you can't prove all this shit in a court of motherfucking law, don't continue to be me anymore. Period. That's it. I'm trying to save your life and keep you innocent. Because you are a non-starter. You don't exist in the grand scheme of this shit. I used to call myself, what was it? There was a term. Because, I used to call myself free range autistic. Because, you know, they didn't really, it wasn't that I didn't have some type of diagnosis. It's that in the black community, we like to deny people's diagnoses. Right? But anyway, the point being, not only am I free range autistic, that makes me a free range motherfucking genius. There's no ability for them to calculate the level at which shit. I'm brilliant, and I'm black, and I'm beautiful, and I'm running for president of the motherfucking United States, which I can't wait. And can we talk about the fact that this country owes me so much because all you motherfuckers came for me, trying to expose me as idiot I claim to be. You tell me I ain't mission ready on a motherfucking Monday, huh? Come for me if you wish. Come to me and say I die in the streets, which ain't happening, but just say I do. Don't you think that this will be used against you too? My last will and testament. If you were to look at all of my videos across the whole spectrum of my timelines, you would see that. I only came to YouTube to leave my life for my children because I knew that I was dying at the time because of medical malpractice. And then you bitches did this shit. Oh, gosh. And then there is that fan case on the bus line, which makes it's all connected. I can show and prove it thanks to the medical system. Wanna know? Way back when I had my gastric bypass surgery, which was in, we were stationed at Fort Stewart, but I had the surgery done at the place that's in Augusta. Anyway, long story short, that's right around the time that they started to switch from paper documents to digital. So I had all my paper documents with me, and all the stuff became digital. My ex-husband officially in 2018. He took that file cabinet with him, along with my personal items. Okay? You understand what I'm trying? Okay, because it's important here. And he's got tattoos on his back, and I'm pretty sure as well I understand that they've got some of my blood in them. Now here's how this all kicks in. That's what's known as blood magic. They did that, they did sex magic. Now that gets us back to the point where I said that piece of shit spiritually assaulted me. He's from Brunswick, Georgia. My middle son went to Job Corps in Brunswick, Georgia. He hangs out in Atlanta. My ex-husband is in Georgia from East Point, Atlanta. He works at the courthouse where Donald Trump's cases were taking place. Now you pick it, motherfucking government. Right. So the conspiracy lies in Georgia. So when that video where I said I'm the reason that the devil came to Georgia, because they conspired against me in Georgia to pull this shit off. They thought they had the cover of the president because he's a Manifestorian. He believed, so to speak, that women had a particular place. He also, you know, is Mr. Inquirer. He inquired maybe about a psychic or two. That's me. Not any of you crusty bitches. Now you get it? On television, they're not real. They do hot and cold readings. I can sit here and I can remote view you. I can tell you shit she never thought I would know. That's the difference. And I'm a naturalist, y'all. There's no cards. Have you seen it? There's no tricks, no bells, no whistles, none of that shit. Right? When I'm alone by myself, what do? I said, I remember my cousin Terry. We were small children when he passed away. I'm 50 today. When I say small, I mean tender age. I don't know how many other people uplift him in the spirit. Why? But here's why. Those of us who are left behind can use those spirits to anchor us in. An example, my cousin Damario's mother claimed that his spirit was in this rubber plant that she had. Which is why when we started playing childhood games, we played I'm rubber, you're glue. Bounce off me and stick to you. Damario's on my side of this. Don't be using my spirit to monitor me and get other things off other people. Live your life. Demario had insurance for his children. Why are you trying to eat off of that? That part. I come from people who believe it's okay for you to eat off of someone else by way of their death. So why would they not die prematurely in order for them to get that policy? Now do you see? And by the way, why would they have listened to my ex-husband in this thing? That's a motherfucking kicker and the key. In the United States military, when you are married to someone, right, and you die, it's $250,000. That's enough to pay for a murder, isn't it? With money left over. Now he purchased that house in 2016, 17. I don't know. You'd have to check. But he purchased it while we were married. It's supposed to be mine at least, not entirely. You see why y'all owe me to go ahead and cut that check? I'm gonna tell you where I'm at, so you can meet me here and go and handle business. Now that's a bitch that I can see sometime, and I couldn't figure out why. But I'm right here at Murphy Wilmot Library. What's the address? Yeah, 530, 530 Tucson, Arizona. And y'all got to 530 North Wilmot, Tucson, Arizona. And y'all got till about 5:30 to get this moment of clarity, y'all. God damn. I ain't lying. I ain't conspiring. I ain't trying to do nothing to nobody's children. The number of lies that they told on me, they were right about. I am spiritually gifted. I'm capable of doing things that others would not believe. And quiet as it's kept. I don't even want to be a superhero. Yeah, I don't need a superhero. Y'all want to be right here. Y'all want to be in this bullshit. Y'all want to bat signal at me and tell me when to show up. That's a no go for me, which is why you couldn't martyr me. You see? That's why the Joker is the normal one. And Batman's the one with the problem. He had money to throw at his problem rather than deal with his shit. You get it? Joker, on the other hand, had to deal with everything that was thrown at him. Still got up every day and kept going with a permanent smile on his face. You did. Don't you love how things go right back together? I've been doing this so long. You know what? It was to prove to other people that just because I'm smoking weed doesn't mean I don't remember what the fuck it is that I'm talking. Doesn't mean that it's not relevant. Sometimes I may go on a tangent a little bit. I'll get back to it. What you got to do? Not shit. Sit around and think with your dick. That's a waste of time. Sacred energy. Store that shit up. You really know. Okay, I gotta tell you the truth about this one. Because they use sex magic and it's relevant. If you store up your sacral energy, and you hold it for yourself, and you put it to a positive use, then the outcome is you achieving your dreams. Okay? Now, if you, I gotta put you guys down for just 1 second, but not like down. Just like out of my hands, so I can like this. Oh, and you can see it is still cold out this piece. It's just, I've learned to deal with the elements. I'm an elemental. We'll get there. Okay. Okay. So, here's the thing. Number one, for me, there is not now nor has there ever been any beef. Y'all don't know nothing about none of this shit. I told you. You're people. You, you are people, and I'm generational. We either evolve or we adapt, and man can evolve. It's just that man does not know how, and so we've had to adapt. So I've adapted and I've evolved, and that's where we get to this point in history. So, apologies. Give me a second. I can hear there's this. Okay. So the spirit is this frequency that exists between the natural world and in Earth and the universe, so to speak. Right. If you were to listen to that very first time that song that I created with S.L. Rouds, it would explain it to you. We are the fourth element that sing in between. Right. So the fourth element is the universe, the spirit. Why does it seem to be more black people than others? Because more often than not, where do we go in order to get our healing if not the spirit? Where do we go to release our pain that we would not let anybody else see? You see that video of me crying? It wasn't for the populace. Honestly, I posted it because the populace needed also. It was for the young lady in the moment so that she would know, despite what she saw going forward, I was tormented by the decision that I was having to make in the moment and moving forward. Having said all, I still have a job to do as the child of the creator, as the creator's child. Right? And my job is to either lead my sister out of darkness or leave breadcrumbs for her to get up out of there. I got a place for you. My father's had me outside all this time because one, Jesus ain't had no physical address, and number two, I had to come through preparing a place for others to know how to move. We're talking about coming up out of a cult. Talking about coming up out of an understanding. Talking about coming up out of years of trauma and abuse. And no one can tell you how to do that except those who have actually gotten through it. Everything else is a fucking theory. So this moment of clarity. Once I'm all the way out, I'm out and we can all fucking shout. But when you suppress the one who's able to get others out, the message never gets out. The understanding never gets out. Why? So that 40-40 on the clock, man can still continue to abuse. And I don't mean man in the sense of a singular being. I mean man, the planet. Man has abused family. Man has abused love. Man has abused values. Man has abused God and lied on the devil to do it. You cannot agree with Heidi and or me when I say to you that race is a construct and say the devil made you come after my beautiful black ass. Your hate for me because you couldn't achieve and or be me is what made you do it. And the reason that you cannot be me is because I am a superior fucking being. I'm a genius. I am a walking, talking God. Not by comparison, literal fuckingly. Now, you need to ask certain Scientology how I know these things, or I can tell you the damn truth. But what they'll do is attempt to suppress this. Shout out to YouTube for not letting that happen, and Google too. You cannot reverse baptize somebody. Man makes choices. Those are their choices. You can't make someone go before their time because you feel some type of way. Especially when God said they ain't supposed to die. Touch not my anointed. That means no backbiting either. This is your moment of clarity. Goofy people want to come for me to spirituality because they took a course or they read a book or, oh, let me just pause for a minute. They got a master's degree in theology or paranormal activity or astrophysics and shit. I am the unknown unknown. I choose to make myself. I am not a single element. I am made up of all of the elements, just like most human beings. The difference is I can manipulate the elements, especially within my own space, using my sacral energy, which is why I no longer sleep with anybody, which is what I was saying when I spoke. If you take your sacral energy and you harness it and you turn it into a positive, you can create without having to do false illusions, so to speak. No sleight of hand. It's not a magic trick. It's not science. It's not alchemy. It's I hear the lightest touch, but it's more like it's a divine marriage, right? Where I promise to do no harm. And man has to understand that. I'm not harming you. I am an angel, and you attempt to defile me, which what it was when I walked into that den of iniquity. At that time, though, I chose to go. You can't then turn around and use my items, physical, against me to attempt to manipulate my gifts and or me in the spirit. So this all happened when I had eventually put the person that I was living with out for putting his hands on me. And I was alone in my apartment. I continue to believe that my spirit was simply pulled out of my body. Most of this was ritualistic in nature. And though there are physical signs, there are also physical signs and or descension, whatever the word is at this time. And so I comfortably rest in that thought process, which brings us to the other thing. This is absolutely why the government, having known much of this and learning more as I speak, has allowed me to remain anonymous or as open about it as I would like to be. Number one, people didn't really believe in magic in that way, in witchcraft, that there were crimes that could be committed, or that there were already laws on the books. Thank God for the Salem witch trials today, right? And the Scarlet A. Anyway, man was on to something then, and man is on to something again. These people attempted to poison me, use voodoo against me, and everything. The Illuminati is just, you gotta kind of show and prove that they're all connected to one another, which in one way I can. That's kind of really weird in the other way. Simultaneously, the Church of Scientology is the motherfucking key. And they don't claim to be witches. I don't know that they claim to be a part of the Illuminati. What I do know is they are pretty much the production arm of anything behind the scenes. Look at the industry and the people they've been harnessing. Look at the outcomes in their lives. Now, y'all see the title, and if you're smart, you're looking at the description, and you getting this message. Okay? All I can say is get out that Ozempic shit. Stop letting them get you to do things like lose that shit crazy. Because what then happens is that woman turns around and starts to put that shit on you, and that's how they break through. Most of you cannot do what I do because your mental is one blocked by a bunch of daily bullshit. Like I said, thinking with your dick. Okay. Number two, your mental has potholes all over the damn place from all the drugs and bullshit you've been exposed to throughout the years. Right. So until you heal all of that and you can use at least 40% of that bitch functionally, you use a whole lot more of your brain. What I'm saying is you be aware that you are using any portion of your fucking brain. Become cognizant. That's it. You have to be cognizant before you can be conscious. Make sense? You have to be aware before you have to wake up before you can move. Ta-da! However, hope floats me and you to get this level of understanding understood at 48:48 on the clock. God is about to make me stop. That's the spirit. When you start deboxing this shit, that's the spirit. Before too long, you'll see I'll be out here singing and dancing, and then everybody, not that they're not already out here, but everybody will be looking at me. I no longer care. It used to drive me crazy. That's the fear of being seen. Because of everything that I had been through. Now I wear that shit proudly. I had a shield to prove it. I got my sword somewhere. Oh, see? But understand something. I called myself a spiritual assassin a long time ago. Now I say I'm a compassionate assassin, which means I am exactly what I said I am. Boo boo, I'm gonna kill you with kindness before I ever lay my hands on you. I'm gonna make you love the fuck out of me. Cause I'm love. I am lovable. You see? It's not me manipulating you. It's not understanding the story. 50:05 on the clock. Tick tock, time to rock. That's the tism. That's my spiritual Tourette's. But anyway, that's a bet. It's a flex. You understand? I love everything about me. Everything about me. I don't give a shit about this. I think it's gorgeous. Matter of fact, I've gone from looking like vampiric to a little bit like a tiger to that maybe, a liger. I don't know. I'm liking this look though. I'm not gonna keep it. I said this before. The only thing that I want back is that little bitty chip that was originally in my tooth because that to me is the truth. You know? One tiny little flaw. You know? It's not a tiny flaw. Right in the middle of my face. I believe in the most high God over anything. Faith of a mustard seed, right? I can do all things through God who strengthens me, which elementally means I can go from being really big to really small. Some of the things that I do can be super explosive, especially joined with someone else who does things that are really big and really small. You see, that's what's scary to the scientific community. Now that you get it, I get it specifically. Hold on. Everyone prays that it's like The Incredibles. The thing is, just like The Incredibles, it's no one's business how Jack Jack gets made. You see? Or the other two. Why one has greater gifts than all the gifts. You never hear The Incredibles say and or explain whether or not the others and then eventually settle down, but they make it seem as though not, right? Now, as I said, if you look at my life and you look at the industry, you can see I was married to a golem. I'm Mrs. Incredible. They're my babies over there. You see, you all have been living my life vicariously for half a century because they always knew about me. Nice to meet you. My name's Janine. I go by JP. Janine Paxton. When I was about 19, when I came back from college, I got married and came back to the United States as Janine Hill. And I got married in Denmark. So I changed my name to Janine Hill. And since then, Janine Paxton has only existed on paper. Someone stole my identity and took advantage of that. So when I leave my husband, who was an intelligence analyst in the United States military for obvious reasons, 5333, in this moment of clarity, when I leave him, the government realizes that I'm all right, but I don't have a safety net on me. Right? In Scientology, there's no handler, no one to inform them what's really going on at the ground level. And if you don't let me dance on this battle, then let me say this real quick. That's what. Oh, and Jeff Bezos. Remember, I said that there was a package from Amazon Prime way back in 2002. You see how I had the first virtual whatever, and then they went on to take whatever was clever and turn that into businesses and things. Walmart's involved. How do I know? Behind the scenes, we did a commercial, an interview for a commercial. I worked for them also. Um, The Got Milk campaign, the dairy company. Like, I guess the beef industry entirely, but you could say dairy. Um, I was a part of the Got Milk campaign just as I was leaving uh, New York after a huge storm up there. Um, there was a huge power outage, and we got away just in time. And then there was a huge power outage when we were in Durham, and that's when those who were watching me, i.e., handling me on the positive side, realized I was fine without him, right? At least him. And that me and the children would be okay if I brought them back. Because when I went to culinary school and graduated, one of my jobs was at the North Carolina School of Science and Math, and we had a very huge storm that year, and I fed of those students without power. Me and my staff. I had staff members who pushed my car so we could go pick up other staff members, 55, on the clock. We could go pick up other staff members so that we could get to work. There were six of us in the beginning. That's how I learned to make cowboy coffee. And all the students and staff who were there, the students were boarded. So they stayed on campus. And so we fed all the students who were on property breakfast, lunch, and we made sure that they had dinner. My staff stayed. More people came in when they were able to, but we got through, and that was the first time I was honored specifically by a school or a city for my achievements and my achievements. So that's when stranger things started happening. Where were Stranger Things filmed, ladies and gentlemen? As I live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, what's out there in that area? My God. My God, project. We're a little bit closer to. I meet then my doppelganger. She worked at the Ace Hardware store. Some crazy shit. Crazy shit. Anyway, from there, I eventually make my way. All powered under my own steam, so to speak. I applied for the job with AmeriCorps. I needed to leave the culinary industry on a good note, and even though it was fibromyalgia that was taking me out of the game, my game was still fine. It wasn't until my ex, and that's the mistake I made, getting my sister and my ex a job at the last place, at the places that I was at. It's never again, never again. So anyway, I say all that to say, here we are today. That's why I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I knew that I wanted to change my life, and originally I was just going to do advocacy for chronic illness. That's why in the very beginning of my content, you can see discussions about fibromyalgia. We meet blind guy, his wife, their life, and so on and so forth. Right? That's because that's the train that I was on. However, for clarity's sake, I also was already in the process of building the nonprofit based on my cousin Demario's situation. What's taken me the longest is to fuse the two. And it has nothing to do with any of this, but since it's my business and my time frame, I have taken the time to take care of me while taking care of my business. Mind is a business that pays me, which is why I want you to add this moment of clarity, little girl. You can't steal shit from me. So over on Buy Me a Coffee, where I posted about my cousin Demario and how I thought that these should be the new set of parameters for the pool. Get blue waved out here and targeted, and things really start to go off the damn rails. Then you got you dingbats on the internet targeting me too. When all along I am an American volunteer for the red, white, and blue. I love every goddamn body. I done been to Germany. I've been to Spain. I have been to parts. You cannot not make me a criminal. You cannot make me a terrorist. I stood up for this country while wearing my hijab and holding the hands of my babies, but you're not gonna fucking do take that away from me because you couldn't get your goddamn life together. Now, do you fucking understand me? That's for every one of you who thinks you can come for me. setting not a goddamn dog loose or free. Told you, I draw blood spiritually. So if you hollering right now, it's because your ego is motherfucking bruised. And I'm about to slice that bitch broad open too as we hit one. Now you take this whole hour shot. So sick of y'all. Oh, I'm sick of y'all. Sick of y'all. Average individuals. Kevin was right. You average at best. Now get that shit a rest. That man ain't do nothing to you, but tell y'all the truth. You mad because he didn't do anything to me, but have an honest conversation, and it looked good in any persuasion. Ow! Jealousy. I don't want your hating ass around me. I don't need. It could be me in the spirit till the day I die before I deal with you jealous hating ass motherfuckers, and that's all a narcissist is. And that's the point of it. God put me down here to slay predators every day. And in the light of day, you now know that men and women can both be considered prey or predator. Depends on the moment in history. Because way back when, I was sure you're fucking prey. But today, you think I'm preying on your ass, don't you? I ain't trying to eat off you bitches. As soon as you end up in prison, I'm gonna forget you exist. Matter of fact, when this live stream goes off, I smoke this weed and I go inside, I'm gonna forget you exist on fucking purpose. You don't matter to me. My feet, as my father would have it be. Look at the sky behind me. Ain't it beautiful out here? Looks like some art, doesn't it? Told you, me, Bob Ross, aren't we a wonderful army? Have we not coordinated this bitch every at 10 o'clock on the motherfucking head? Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Huh? No? No? Y'all don't feel the spirit all of a sudden? Right. This has been a wonderful time. Thank you. Here's the thing. 10:01. If you would like to say that I look crazy in this moment, go watch it whole. Watch it. It's an hour. It's an hour. You can speed it up and make it 45 to 30 minutes. And tell me if I'm lying now. Tell me if you can't take everything I said, fact check that shit is bona fides, and get the fuck out of my way. Okay? Now, I want you to take this video and you have a fabulous fucking day. YouTube, if you block it, that's cool. I got it out my system, and you know how it is. As above, so below. It's out in the ethers. See, once it's spoken on, it's gone. Out. All the little birdies on Jamesburg Street love to hear me go tweet, tweet, tweet. See, see, see. See how you thought you couldn't end up on federal charges and you could just be on all types of charges? Oh my God. And y'all think that the worst is actually being a criminal in this country. It's not. Look at the Nazis. They had to go into hiding. That was not the United States that did that. No, you go check your records. I'm gonna get up out of here, drink me some coffee, have a snack.